Hello everyone, this is the Film Buff Gamer Guy, and the Google Stadia is officially dead. On January 18th, 2023, the Google Stadia shut down. So as you go on the Google Stadia website, it's just a blank website, and it says, "Thank you for playing with us. Stadia was shut down on January 18th, 2023, which was redundant for me saying that. I remember when the Google Stadia came out, and I thought, I prefer to play games on consoles and on PC, and I still stand by that fact. And I watched many YouTube videos about Google Stadia. I was a little more skeptical about the system, but I was thinking about it. I was watching YouTube videos, been reading articles about the Google Stadia. And Google, the big tech company, was going to compete against the three main parties in the system: Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Google Stadia wasn't an actual system that you hook up to your TV. It doesn't have any specs at all. The specs is the internet, the whole internet. So you have to be connected to the internet to play games. And you can play games on any platform. Like, you can play on a crappy old Windows XP laptop, and as long as you search Google Stadia on Google and then go on the site, you can get hooked up to play Doom Eternal on your Windows XP laptop. You can do that. And you can play AAA games, the kind of ones that you can play on PlayStation or Xbox, on your phone through cloud service. That was an interesting technology and a new type of thing for its time. And it doesn't have to, and it's not using any specs or anything you hook up to your TV. And all you need is the controller. This is the PS5 controller. And all you get, that's the physical is the charger to charge the controller, and the Google Stadia controller. That's the PS5 controller. That's not I don't have a Stadia controller. That's the only thing physical out of the Google Stadia. And after its launch in 2019, the Google Stadia is officially dead. The reason why the Stadia failed, a part of the reason is the technology isn't there yet with cloud gaming, because not everyone has high-speed internet, and people have data plans. And I never tried the Google Stadia at all because I would piss off my parents with the amount of data I'm using with playing a AAA game or something. I know I do have an unlimited data plan at my mom's house, but at my dad's place, it's a little different. But, and number two is Google Stadia the company Google just pretended it didn't exist. It wasn't their priority. And number three is there weren't barely any exclusives, and they weren't even developing any games in their game studio that Google made shut down prematurely. There was no exclusives. Google was neglecting it. They were doing other projects, and the technology isn't there yet. Those were the three reasons. But one thing I will praise Google for with the Google Stadia is that they're refunding games from people who bought games from this Google Stadia, which is amazing. Like, what if Netflix doesn't exist anymore? What if Steam shuts down? And Gabe Newell gives millions of dollars to people who bought games on Steam over the years. Imagine that. Or Netflix. What if Netflix shuts down and Netflix gives you the money from all that you paid it over the years. That would be pretty awesome. If that would be the awesome thing if Netflix shut down. Not that I want Netflix or Steam to shut down or anything like that, but it's awesome thinking about it, getting millions of dollars from a corporation getting shut down. Like, that's cool. There is a good reason to be skeptical about cloud gaming, because when you own a physical copy of a game, okay? Let's use a PS5 game for example. When you own a physical copy of the game, it's yours. It's easier to preserve a physical copy of a game. It's easier, and it's good for game preservation. Alright? I'm against an all-digital future when it could happen any decade now. Any time now at this point. But when you own a physical copy, it is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay? And there are some Stadia exclusive games that are just disappearing forever for the face of time. No one tried to emulate the game. Those games are just gone through the sands of time unless Google decides to release them on PS5 or Xbox Series X or Switch. And the only thing that you can play that's Google Stadia related is the Google Stadia controller, which I'm just going to pretend the PS5 controller. That's the only thing the only thing you can play with the Google Stadia is the controller. That's it. You can play on PC. That's it. And what we should learn about the failure of the Google Stadia is whenever there's a new emerging technology or something, we can't just blindly trash it or talk negative about it just because it's a new technology. Like, whenever there's a new genre or technology or whatever, like, video games was looked down upon because, video games is a brain-rotting thing. Video games for 40-year-old virgins and children. Or rock and roll music or heavy metal music satanic. That's just human nature. Whenever there's new emerging technology or even something nonsensical as something for entertainment, people still trash it. Even if it's something that's environmentally friendly, like plant-based foods, people look down upon it even though they taste the same as an actual hamburger at McDonald's or something, but it's healthier. I'm not an expert at that, but here's an example. While we're not there yet with cloud gaming because games aren't getting preserved the same way old movies are, because video games, that stigma that video games is for 40-year-old virgins or children, or it's a child thing, Are there any video games that are stored in the Library of Congress? No, not yet. And the copyright laws of gaming aren't there yet, and we need to adjust some copyright laws in order to preserve older games and do all those things for cloud gaming, and we need to have high-speed internet to be more mainstream, and the technology just isn't there yet. And a lot of people like me prefer to play games on consoles and PC with specs in them. I don't want to have to always be connected to the internet to play video games. While the Google Stadia is good for people that travel around the world a lot or travel a lot or go to hotels a lot, I totally get that kind of market. But the technology just wasn't there yet, and we need to use the Google Stadia. It's good to learn from the Google Stadia that an important lesson. Whenever there's new technology or whatever, we can't just blindly trash it and look at it with skepticism. We need to think professionally.